Friend of mine. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Hi. We've got Matt Rosenberg here.
You don't
He
wanna step
doesn't
on the
need the
box?
apple
You wanna
crate.
step-
Sure. Let's see what would happen. Let's just for fun. No, okay. Doesn't need it. Whoa.
Oh, very
it's too much.
tough.
It's too much.
There we go. Phew.
Matt is a comic book writer.
I am.
And a wonderful dude. And also,
not.
did you drink half a gallon of chocolate milk on your way here?
I'm so proud.
No, that's all morning.
Okay.
It's all day. You got to stay hydrated at comic conventions.
Chocolate
It's
milk.
super
Is that
important.
your-
Like thinking about all that
hydration?
chocolate
Yeah,
milk.
yeah. It's a liquid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
This is
okay.
my first convention, so is that
Get
what I
some
need
milk.
to do?
yeah.
I did it wrong.
If you don't drink that, you're going to be real sick tomorrow.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Warm
Drink a
milk.
Gallon, warm chocolate milk.
Yeah.
Sitting out for a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
At the
perfect.
table, if you have a table, you're good.
Okay, awesome.
So day one of the con, what has been going on for you today?
I have been running around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've been sitting at my table, signing some books, talking to people about books, and then I did Marvel's Next Big Thing panel.
Ooh,
Nice. What did we talk about with you with Next Big
yeah.
With me?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about The Punisher, which I am taking over next month. It's October. I'm taking that over next month-ish.
Okay.
And that is where Frank Castle steals the War Machine armor and goes to war. And we talked about. We weren't supposed to talk about Tales of Suspense, but we did. It wasn't. It's announced. The book is announced. But someone in the audience had a question about Black Widow, and that is where the mysteries around Black Widow's death will be discussed.
Very cool.
Wow.
And that
Yes.
Tales of Suspense book, I mean, we've seen the art
We've
a
seen
little
the
bit,
art.
so we know that it's Bucky and Hawkeye
It is-
together.
Yes, it is. People begin to die, and they are people that Natasha was not crazy about, and they die in Black Widow-esque ways. And so Bucky and Hawkeye, not the biggest fans of each other, decide to investigate, and their investigations lead to each other, where they team up, they don't get along, they get into some trouble, and they fall into a hole of who is killing people and why.
I thought you were going to say,
whodunit.
and they find friendship at the end of the
I
tunnel.
mean, I don't want to spoil the book,
Okay.
but they do not. They do not.
Here's the thing that I'm sure you're going to get if you haven't gotten it already, are the shippers that
Yeah.
are
Oh, yeah.
connect-
Oh, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
it?
There are.
Buckeye? What's
Oh,
No,
Bucky.
well, first of all, obviously Buckeye, but
I don't know, Hawkbuck.
I'm going to lean toward Hawkbuck.
Hawk.
It's tricky to say.
I mean, I find myself saying Buckeye accidentally a lot, and people just stare at me. But what's interesting actually is that a lot of people are reaching out to me being like, Clint and Natasha are the truest love in the Marvel universe, and they need to get together. And then people saying, Bucky and Natasha are the truest love. And it's about 50-50.
Really?
Which makes me want to just send these people to each other and say, you guys need to work this out, and then come to me, and I will ignore it and do what I think is right, but I think that they should work it out amongst themselves.
I personally love the Bucky Natasha romance, and the tragedy of that to me is the biggest thing, and like
Yeah.
how like memories were lost and things changed, and like that adds an element of sadness and loss to it that is hard to overcome.
Yeah, they have a shared trauma that it's hard because they're so close and care so much for each other, and so much of that comes from a shared awful experiences, and that's really beautiful that they found each other, and very sad that they lost each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just find it hard that her exes are chilling out, just probably talking about her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
a rough
That
one.
is a big thing.
Worst nightmare, right?
Yeah, worst nightmare.
Yeah.
So, I dated so-and-so too.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Matt, how did you get started at Marvel?
I got started at Marvel. I was publishing my own comics, which were pretty bad. Don't look for them on eBay.
Well, now they're going to do that.
Yeah, no,
'Cause
well,
that's
I
the first
realize
thing
that.
I'm doing as soon as this interview's done.
And then I did a book called 12 Reasons to Die with RZA and Ghostface Killah from the Wu-Tang Clan. And then I did a couple other books for a company called Black Mask, and a Marvel editor who named John Moyson, who is no longer at Marvel, but is still a beautiful human being.
We love John.
We love John, yeah.
Love is strong, but I love John. He asked me to do a short story in Secret Wars Journal #1, and I remember at the time I sent it in. It was an X-Men story, and the first page I was like, these are the 36 X-Men you see on this page. And he wrote back and he was like, why are there 36 X-Men on the page? And I said, I don't know if I'm ever going to get to write the X-Men again. I need them all on the page. And he was like, can we do 12? And I was like, no, it's got to be 36. So in the end, it's 36 X-Men on the page.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who had to draw this for you?
A great artist named Luca Pizzari.
Okay.
Yeah, he drew
Very
it.
upset with you, I'm sure.
He was. He's great. He moved to New York and we hang out and he's a great guy, but he was not happy when he got that
No.
script. Why would he be? They don't even talk. They don't do anything. They're just in a room.
They're just there.
Yeah.
How did you decide which 36 you were gonna?
I mean, you go to your top 36 X-Men.
Yeah. Do
And
you
they are-
not have your
well,
top
I
36
do. I have
X-Men?
my top 56, but I just feel like that'd be
Yeah.
a little bit much.
In
It's a crowded
alphabetical
room.
order. No, I don't.
Yeah. it was-
So yeah, it's that was my first thing at Marvel, and shockingly, Marvel asked me to do more things.
Wow.
And here I am now writing 4 books for you all.
That's
Yeah.
kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's very fun. It's amazing. It's a lifelong dream come true. To be honest.
Have
So-
there been surreal moments for you, like as you started getting down this journey? Because I know, like, I've known you for a while, since before you worked at Marvel, and like know that you are a fan. You
Oh,
love
yeah.
these characters, you love these stories. You've been engulfed in the universe for years.
I mean, they're all surreal moments. It's meeting Joe Quesada and having him be like, oh, I like this thing, or like it's every fan who buys a book and says like, oh, you did a good job. That's a surreal moment for me. The most surreal was I had to research something and I was looking on Wikipedia about the Inhumans, and it started talking about my story,
Yes.
and I had this moment where I was like,
Yes.
what? How did this get on here? That's not supposed to be there. And then I was like, oh wait, no, that is actually continuity.
It's not your
Like-
head canon,
Yeah.
it's actually canon.
How are they getting to my fanfic?
Yeah, it really
Wait a
felt, it was a real moment where I just stared at it and was like, this doesn't make sense. And I was processing it and then was like, oh, and I needed to close the computer and walk away for a minute and recontextualize my life.
Well, if that's fair. At this point, have you created new Marvel characters?
Yeah, but I really like
You literally read my mind.
killing them. So I created a bunch
Oh.
and I keep killing them, which is,
How is? I mean, that's my question. I was going to ask about like with these characters, the ones that you create, and some of like the fan favorites, and the ones that you love so much, like doing messed up things to them. Like, how does that work? How do you sleep at night?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think there's a thing when you read the books, you love the characters and you're protective of them. And when you write the books, now that I'm on the other side, you want them to overcome things. You want them to face these challenges. That's what the greatest stories are, is the Marvel characters and the Marvel heroes persevering and surviving. So you want to throw things at them, and it's hard. And they'll get through it, and it's kind of amazing to be like, I think they're going to be a little stronger when they come out of this. I think they're going to be a little better, and that's the hope at least. Except when I read the Kingpin, in which case it's like, that's a bad guy.
But when you approach a character like Kingpin, to kind of get inside that head, don't you have to kind of be on his side a little bit?
Oh, yes, I'm 100%.
You're pro Kingpin.
I am, in a sense. I was such a Kingpin apologist that my editors had to be like, are you pretending? And I was like, no, I think that when you distance yourself
Yeah.
from Wilson Fisk, he's just Spider-Man, but 1 degree off. He loves the city and he cares about it, and he wants the best for it, but he has this big world view, and people are like, well, he profits from this stuff, and it's like, well, Tony Stark profits from these things, and it's like, well, he kills people, and it's like, well, the Punisher kills people, and Moon Knight kills people. Like, there are all these things where it's like, he's not a hero, but his goals are somewhat altruistic, but he also likes to line his pockets. So he's difficult, but he also chokes people to death and does bad things.
There's a path that if his father wasn't who his father was.
Yes.
Or if like he could have grown up in those same similar situations and something could have been slightly different and he could be leading the Avengers.
100%. He is smart and driven and passionate and he has everything that a Marvel hero has and just a broken moral compass. He's just took the wrong steps, but he's Spider-Man at his core. He's Daredevil. He is Matt Murdock, just a little nastier.
I suddenly feel like I need to go out and help children.
We should all be doing that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Anyways, but now inspired too.
Yeah.
Where can fans find you at the con and online?
I am in the very warm Artist Alley.
I've heard it's very.
It's
Ed
very
McGinnis said it's
Oh
very.
yeah,
It's-
I was down
it's
there.
very
It's
warm.
warm.
It's nice. Yeah, I mean,
Bring a tank top.
bring a bathing suit. I'm at tables, let's say C25, and if I'm not there and it's someone else's table, buy something from them. And online, my name is searchable. I'm not the Matt Rosenberg who writes for the New York Times, although he's very nice on Twitter.
There you go. Go to that google.com. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have
Matt.
a wonderful Comic-Con. I'll take
I got
this
you
from
this.
you. Oh my God, thank you.
Oh, look at
Hello?
Lorraine, you're
I
getting
think it's
gifts
for you.
already. Oh.